Hello, in this short video, I'm going to provide some explanation for the test we have on Monday, Marketing Research Test 1. Uh, the test is based on a research paper that I've included two links for on the file. The title of the paper is Twitter Power and Sport Fan Loyalty, the Moderating Effects of Twitter. So you see the two links on the file. One is the link that I found on Google Scholar. I also uploaded the file on my Google account or my Google Drive so you can access the file there too. Link 2 is where you can find the file on my Google Drive. So just one point I want to mention in the beginning, the paper itself is pretty long. It's 26-27 pages long. You don't have to worry about that because to answer the questions you probably need to read maybe 2-3 pages of all those 26 pages. So also remember that I'm going to be using the same paper for test 2 and your final exam. So once you read this, you can just keep that in mind too. We'll have to refer to the same paper again. Also, the topic of the paper is similar or is related to a lot of the or to some of the projects that you guys are doing. So that should be helpful as well. So let's go over the questions. Question number 1 is related to the research question of this paper. I've asked you what is the research question. Identify the independent and the dependent variables. So this should be very easy. We've done it multiple times before. And the only catch or the only detail you want to pay attention to is we get credit for being accurate. So there aren't too many answers that are wrong, but that's not good enough. We need to be accurate and then make sure we extract the dependent and independent variables from the title, the abstract, and the introduction section. Also, obviously, the conceptual framework. Question number 2, how are team involvement and fan loyalty related? So these are the two of the major constructs you see in this paper to, they basically use these two in their conceptualization in the conceptual framework on page 156, figure 1. And also throughout the paper, you see these two constructs being used in the literature review, you see definitions and a review of these two constructs, also obviously in the measurement section and everywhere else. So look at the conceptual framework, read the relevant sections, and tell me how these two constructs are related based on the propositions of this paper. Question number 3 is about another construct used in the paper, team trust. Well, the first question related to this construct is a definition question. I've asked you to look up the definition of this variable in this paper. So this paper has a literature review section. One of the subsections in the literature review is team trust. So you tell me how this paper has defined team trust. Well, there are 2-3 paragraphs in this section. You read those and you see there are a lot of citations. So you basically give me a 1-line, 2-line summary of team trust, and you probably want to include a couple of these citations. Very easy, very straightforward. The second question related to team trust is question number 4, and I've asked you a measurement question. So on this paper, after methodology, on page let me see, page 161, there's a section titled measurement. So if you go to that section and find team trust, you can tell me how this paper has operationalized team trust. It's a very short paragraph. I basically just answered the question for you guys. So refer to this section, see what measurement tool, what scale they've used, use the proper citation. Question number 5, there are 2 sections. You only answer one of those. So you either answer question 5A or 5B. So 5A is a question about the moderating hypothesis in this paper. As you remember, the title is, includes moderating hypothesis. So if you look at the list of the hypotheses, also if you see the the conceptual framework, hypothesis H6, and also the sub hypothesis H6A2 whatever. Those are the moderating hypothesis in this paper. So you basically look at one or select one of those, and you state it, you include it in your answer. You also tell me what that moderation means. So explain what it means for, say, Twitter to have a moderating effect on the relationship between, say, team involvement and something else. Or alternatively, you can answer question 5b. I've asked you, if you were to add a new dependent variable to this model, if you were to expand this model, what variable or construct would you use? And once that construct was added, what new hypothesis would we have? So my suggestion for you guys is to think about maybe a financial construct, a financial variable. Right now we have basically more perceptual, customer or fan-centric variables. I would just include a financial metric and then state the related hypothesis. But that's not the only way you can add a dependent variable to this model. So, well, graphically speaking, you can think about a new bubble being added to the model. Tell me where it belongs and what new hypothesis it's gonna create. Question number 6, the last question, is related to those two questions that I ask all the time. So what and who cares? And in a research paper, you are expected to address those two questions in your discussion section. On page 168 of this paper, you see a discussion section, and under that we have a theoretical implication section and also a managerial implication section. Question number 6 is specifically in reference to managerial implications. So once we know the answer to the questions that this paper raises, or the hypothesis that the paper proposes, who's going to benefit from these findings? What marketers and in what context will we find, or what marketers will benefit from this in what context? Or alternatively, if I'm a marketer in this field, how are my next decisions related to this context are to be improved based on the findings of this paper? I wish you all good luck. This is a very manageable test. I think everybody is just more than capable of getting full credit on this test. That's basically what I expect. It should be very difficult not to get full credit. Just make sure you read the paper and you focus on the questions. The only reason we can miss points is that we are not being accurate. So make sure that you are answering the questions that are being asked, not something else. All right, guys, I hope you all do well. Good luck, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you.